ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 89 of the Luke and Lewis Show. Let's get into it. 88. That's right.
It's always like an odd number on the Tuesday one. So
Yes.
it's Thursday. It's always going to be even.
Yeah,
But-
well, look, whatever. Okay, I don't need to be walking around yelling about 88s. I already look enough like a fucking white supremacist. We don't need to make it worse.
Okay. That is true. And the jumper's not helping today either. If you put that hood on, you'd look like you're part of a certain clan.
Hang on. What about now?
Do not point it at the top. Okay, that's enough.
Hang on. Wait. What about this?
Okay, great. You fucking love getting us demonetized in the first minute, don't you?
Yeah.
Lewis
It's a
hates the
bad habit.
$15 that we make every episode. It
Guys,
is actually
support us on
funnier.
Patreon.
It is funnier to just throw that $15 in the bin for a
really is,
nice
isn't it?
racist joke at the start.
It really is. And you know what? Just wait to see what I have planned. Episode 89. If
Yeah.
I can even remember the episode, you know,
Yeah.
it's gonna get dark. And yes, I mean blackface.
Okay, well, damn.
Maybe not.
Lewis, how have you been? I'll be honest with you. I've done significantly less than I usually do between the last episode.
Dude.
Like I've somehow
too.
just done even less. I didn't leave the house yesterday, and then I got this new watch, right? And it reminded me. It just sent me this reminder. It gave me like a badge. It said, "Well done, you have earned the well-rested badge." And I was like, "Get fucked! That's so passive-aggressive to just tell me that I'm a piece of shit like that." You're like,
Congratulations, you're a fat slob.
Yeah,
loser.
you
Get on
didn't-
the loser podium.
you didn't leave the house and didn't even hit 2,000 steps today, you piece of shit."
Yeah,
And it
that's
gives me a fucking badge.
So what? Not only do we have to be body positive, we have to be activity positive too now? Is
Yeah,
that what the
apparently.
world's come to?
It's so bullshit. But anyway, so get yourself a watch and it will absolutely reward you for pretty much just having the watch on. You don't even actually have to exercise in it. You can get badges for just sitting there. It's great.
I mean, yeah, if you pay that much money for a watch, you want it to be nice. You don't want to look at your watch and be like, you're a fucking slob.
Oh, not really. The first time I put the watch on, I was so angry because it took me probably like an hour to set it up. I was trying to get music on it for my run, and there was a bunch of settings I had to change and stuff. And by the time I actually put the watch on, it was like the first thing it told me was, "Oh, your stress levels are high," and I was like, "No shit," because this took me an hour to do. And it's like, and then
That's so
it literally
funny.
was like, maybe just sit down for a bit. I was like, hey, maybe make a good product, you know?
That's
so
so
angry.
like, it's the watch's fault that you're mad. That's like such a 9-year-old like pissing someone off and then going, you mad? You mad, bro? Oh, you seem mad, but it's like definitely correct because it's connected to your vitals. According to your vitals, you mad, bro.
I don't know how it works. I assume it just calculates stress via your heart rate because that's all it knows about me. Like, otherwise, how else would it calculate it? I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. If someone could let me know how accurate this thing is, because, and it's so annoying, it happened on my podcast that I was doing. Whenever I start, like right now, whenever I start talking about how stressed out the watch makes me, my stress goes up on the watch. I was at like a 40 before we started this podcast, which is good because it's out of 100. And now I'm at a 74 because I'm fucking angry again.
A 74?
Yeah,
That's a big jump.
I'm at a
over
74
watch.
right now because I'm just fucking pissed off apparently.
Well, that's good. I think that we can keep that on throughout every podcast, and you can just let us know, like, if
stress
you know,
levels.
if I do something particularly dumb, you just let us know how much that stresses you out.
I think maybe it was you pretending to be a member of the KKK. Just really stressed me out. I was like, I think I want a career after this. But
Okay, so that it was at a 90 is what you're saying then.
Yeah, actually, it is going down there. Now it's at a 69. Hey.
Okay,
Hey-o.
that's pretty good.
It's so weird, though, because my heart rate doesn't change. My heart rate's been
Right.
sitting at a 72.
So it's just your stress rate. That's a different vein, I suppose.
I don't know. I don't really get it. But how does it
I don't
actually
know.
work? I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's just every time you talk shit about the watch, it hears that and goes, I'm going to tell this guy he's freaking out.
Yeah, maybe.
So that now he'll never shit talk me again.
Yeah, but I keep shitting talking it because of that reason. Anyway,
Needs to
have
pick a
you
new
been,
avenue.
man?
I have been the laziest piece of shit. I started off this quarantine so productive. We all knew it, you know. I was smashing it. I was living this quarantine life. This week, I have done nothing. I sat down yesterday and tried to work, and I just was in my room looking at YouTube and scrolling on my phone, and then eventually I was like, you know what? This isn't working. I might as well just be playing video games. And then I did that for 6 hours. I have no motivation to do anything. There's no shows coming up. I'm not meeting the people. There's no jokes that I'm excited to do. I'm just sitting in my fucking room going, well, I've done 2 Luke and Lewis podcasts and Spearhead Sundays, so that checks off the bare minimum. Might as well have a snooze.
Yeah, that's what every week when I finish the podcast, so like usually we finish doing the podcast by the Tuesday or Wednesday. I knock them out all early in the week. So between like Sunday and Tuesday, I'm usually doing podcasts all day, every day, and like other guest episodes and stuff. So then it gets to Wednesday, I'm like, all right, now it's time to really crank it into overdrive. And I never hit second gear, man. I'm just like, I'll edit
Not even overdrive, just now it's time to do something.
Yeah, and I just usually edit a few TikToks and then just like fucking call it a week, you know? I think, I know this sounds negative, and I don't want people to think I'm not appreciative. I do love what we do. I love my job. But
I reckon you could start any one of your sentences with, I know this sounds negative, and it would make perfect sense, Luke.
Yeah, I'm often negative. But I think this quarantine has made me realize that I like YouTube. I don't love it. Like I've always said that. I've always said I love stand-up more than YouTube. That's never going to change. But now that I just do YouTube, I realize that I could probably never be an actual YouTuber. Like one that uploads 4 times a week, and just like that's all they do, and they just I don't know. I feed off like the motivation of filling out
the real life shit
and meeting you guys in real life, and like that's definitely I think it's more real. I don't know what the word is. More tangible. Is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just...
that's actually a good one. That's 3 syllables, bro.
Oh, thank you, mate. Fuck it. I'm going to take the rest of the podcast off. You can take it from here. Ruben, you impressed with that one? Used a big boy word. Yeah, thank you, man. Good. Thank you. Tangible. Great. All right. Well, I've clocked off.
How's your stress level?
Yeah, my watch just gave me a badge for not being a dumb cunt. No, I'm now at a 60. But that still
that's pretty good.
Seems high. Maybe I'm like
you must be on.
Anxious
You're really trying.
Person.
Maybe.
Or maybe the watch is just completely inaccurate and I'm reading too far into it.
I would definitely say that's more likely the watch is voodoo bullshit.
Because I don't...
What's the brand?
Garmin. Oh, it's a very expensive watch. Like I'm embarrassed to say how much I spent on
it. All right.
I did the class.
Spill those beans. All right, spill the beans. No, come on. How much of Luke and Lewis Patreon money have you spent on that watch? Because Luke does this all the time. He uses the Patreon money.
No, hey, firstly, we've never taken a cent out of the Luke and Lewis Patreon money.
Excuse me, how many times have you paid for kebabs with the Patreon money?
Unless I'm buying the fans kebabs, which I would say is giving back to our audience.
No, I would say that all expenses need to be cleared by both of us. You've bought kebabs and now you've gone out and spent $2,000 on this watch. I saw the bank statement.
No, you're lying. Fuck off. That's not nearly how much it cost. It cost a quarter of that. Now, which is fine. And
that's $500.
No, that's a mid-range sports watch. That's not even high range, man. You can actually get them for like $1,500. But
really?
I'm not made of money. No, I did the classic thing of the millennial privilege thing of as soon as my JobKeeper money came in, I simulated that economy. Oh, fuck.
Economy. Yeah. You're gonna, you know what? You were doing so well. You did a 3-syllable word and then you tried to say economy and you're back where you started.
Oh, fuck.
Economy.
I'm at a 75 stress now. Fuck. I was trying to stimulate that fucking hell.
Oh, that's not good, is it? No, that was a joke. Luke is not spending the Patreon money on
we've never actually deposited any of that money into our bank account.
It only goes to Ruben and Keelan's bank account. We haven't seen a cent from this podcast yet.
Oh, and it goes to buying like a new studio. Which,
buying shit.
Well, we're not. We've got the same curtains and stuff, the same base of the studio, but we are buying some new equipment and desks and stuff like that for the boys.
We're really upgrading because we're allowed to work at the start of the month. So that's what we're gearing towards. We're going to return to the studio soon, and Patreon's how we're funding all of that. We're upgrading. We're not going to reveal what it is because we want it to be a little bit of a surprise. But speaking of Patreon, we thought we'd tell you that if you support us on Patreon, you get access to the Discord, and that's all good. Not really supposed to tell you this, but you also get 2 extra episodes every single month. That is a secret. It's a secret podcast, but I'm just saying, don't tell anyone.
Right. And you said at the start there, you're not supposed to tell them that.
Yeah.
Why after that didn't you shut the fuck up?
Fuck. Well, I just wanted revenge for you buying kebabs without clearing that past me, because I think that's going to be very difficult to explain to the ATO.
Well,
of you buying 6 kebabs at like 3 a.m. You go, but it was for people who listen to the show.
Yeah, and I think if we get like a young person who works there who gets it, they'll be like, of course, definitely a
Luke
business
Kitchell,
expense.
What kind of person working at the ATO do you reckon would get it? It'd be like, do you reckon there's any guy walking around the ATO going, hey, I'm just a fun dude working at the government tax office?
I love a 3 a.m. kebab. Nah, that dude loves data and he's the worst.
But what we thought we would do is we're going to drop in a little clip from one of the secret podcasts just to show you guys what you're missing out on.
What about, speaking of kebabs, here's a clip of us deciding to open a kebab shop together, hypothetically.
Smooth segue.
Thank you.
Zoom.
That was. Did you do a zoom? That was great.
Zoom.
Guys, we thought as we like to do, we like to get suggestions in the Discord, the secret sound off section, from you of what you'd like us to talk about. A very interesting one came in from Whitey. I really like this one. If the whole team could run any other sort of business, like cafe, energy provider, weird suggestion, shoe shop, what would it be, and what would everyone's roles be?
I think a realistic one, I'm not going to shoot for the stars here and say we should do a startup that's going to be millionaires. Yeah. I think we would run a mean kebab shop. Just like one of those huts on say Brunswick Street, late night drunk dickheads. You'd have Lewis.
It has to be one of the party ones, not the good ones, the party one that entices drunk and pills.
Yeah, and this is how we get people in. It's like a naughties themed tune sesh.
Okay.
So, like, I'm on the decks, obviously. I'm spinning Avril Lavigne, Veronica's, a bit of Kiss Chasey. There's people going like, fuck, I remember this song, and I'm hungry. And then Keelan, and it's called Keelan, it's just for brand value, Keelan's Kebabs, but we're like kind of the masterminds of the business.
I think, though, there's a big issue with
does all the accounting,
it,
obviously.
Ruben does the accounting. I think the issue with calling it Keelan's Kebabs is that might confuse Keelan, because people would come in and be like, hey, could I get a large kebab? And he'd say, no, sorry, these are all mine. They're all mine. Can you read the sign? These are my kebabs. And then you'd be like spinning the decks to care. What would I do in this situation? You didn't give me a role at all.
No, I said you just abuse strangers. Like if people come in too drunk, you're like, oi, fucking none of that. Oi, what are you eating that for? That's Keelan, stuff like that.
Hey, hands up. These are Keelan's kebabs. Get out of it.
I think that's what you'd be doing. I reckon we'd run a sick business, man.
Yeah, we'd be closed in 6 months.
By the way,
we wouldn't sell anything. But
no one's cooking. I just realized we never actually assigned someone to make the kebabs. So that's the boring bit.
It'd be Chef Keelan, obviously.
Yeah, Keelan, you have to make the kebabs. Have you... Oh, the Keelan doesn't really make food. He just buys stuff from the server.
No, actually, the charcoal chicken shop I worked at when I was 15, I used to make kebabs there. It was a kebab. Oh,
you've got experience. Because I was thinking that what you would do is you just go next door, buy a kebab, and sell it to the patrons. Dollar markup.
Yeah.
Dollar markup.
And initially, Keelan would be selling it for $1 less, but Ruben would come out from the back and he'd go, mate, I've been running the numbers and this doesn't make any sense. And the opening hours for Keelan's Kebabs, we open at 7 p.m. and we close at 4 a.m. And none of the kebabs have prices, as obviously they are Keelan's, but you're welcome to come in and see Luke on the decks.
Yeah, and you can just come in and steal Keelan's Kebabs, I guess, if you want to feed. That's the thing. It's not a great business because Keelan's going to come in every time and be like, guys, we're having a massive theft problem. These are all my kebabs and people keep eating them.
I don't know why we opened up a store if I was just hoarding these kebabs.
But yeah, if you want to come in and hear like some, 2005 Will Smith track, stuff like that, then definitely come down and steal a kebab at Killen's Kebabs. What a good ad.
Oh.
No, all right.
That was more of a slurp than a zoom, don't
All
you
right,
think?
wait, give me another chance. Zoom.
No, that's good. Yeah.
It sounded like you were thirsty.
I thought it would be like coming back to the anyway.
Actually, just to
No,
do
and it
another.
just ended up being like coming.
Speaking of another, did you do another cum noise?
That's disgusting.
What are you doing, mate?
No, 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 mate. That's not the show. You're off brand. You're very off brand here. That's not what it is.
Yeah, mate. Fucking put on a white hoodie and turn around and put your finger up in it. That is more on brand than what you.
No,
just
my
did.
problem was that he was spitting and not swallowing. All right, that's the brand.
Yeah, here we take it like a champ, mate. And speaking of Keelan being thirsty, another smooth segue. Keelan, I believe you have a special edition of
Yes.
Keelan's Mealins for us. It's been a while, and I'm
Big
very
round of
excited.
applause, everyone.
Yeah, yay,
okay.
Keelan's Mealins. If you don't know, Keelan's Mealins is the segment where Keelan just tells us what he ate in the last few days. Now, on paper, that sounds boring as fuck, but as we all know, right, don't judge a book by its cover, because this segment is the most exciting, emotional
By the
roller
way,
coaster you could ever take in podcast form.
Unless that book is Keelan's lifestyle choices, then absolutely judge the fuck out of that book.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of why the segment exists. But Keelan, you have a special edition or something for us today? How does it work?
I've revamped Keelan's Millins because
That's good.
Me reading out what I've eaten in a week is pretty boring by now, and I can tell you pretty much it's just iced
disagree.
coffee and energy drinks at this point in my
So it
life.
hasn't changed at
No
all.
solids. No solids at all.
Essentially no solids, yeah.
That's
You
why
guys-
you got that
have you guys
slurping
noticed
down
I've lost
pat.
a lot of weight this isolation? Just through iced
Because you're
coffee.
malnourished.
Oh, we shouldn't be laughing. It's really bad, man.
So I thought I'd do a review of the McDonald's I go to quite regularly and tell you if it's good or not worth going to.
You are the worst. Anyone who works minimum wage, watch out. Because Keelan is the fucking worst when it comes to service.
All right.
You gotta
and
pre-
did you want me to hit your intro?
Yeah.
All right.
But wait, before you
Of
do,
course.
you got to be silent through it, okay? Now, play.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else other than this? Or you just wanted to listen to the music?
It's a Justin Big Brother theme song.
I
from
just
2007.
wanted to see how long you guys let me do this for.
Great. So you haven't added anything to this, you just wanted to play the whole intro. This is disrespectful. I'm offended.
It's a little bit more.
This is insane.
You did the whole song. I'm embarrassed.
I just wanted to see if you guys would stop it or not. I don't know.
Yep.
I can't believe that I thought you may have added some production value to that and added in
I was gonna
like
say,
something, like if it was Radio Mike, he would have gone, iced coffees, blue bee. This is what I've been drinking. Like it'd rhyme, there'd be reverb, there'd be way too much effort. He'd probably hire a female voiceover artist just to do an
true.
intro for a podcast, whereas you're just like, oh, I'll just play the Big Brother theme song again.
also,
Yeah.
Keelan, you said you revamped the segment. So far, you've putting in no extra effort to what you
No.
usually do.
Actually,
Less effort. The
you
previous
guys should-
segment had an intro that he made.
you should see what's on my
Radio
screen.
Mike fucking made it.
I've got paragraphs of information to read about, so I've actually put a lot of effort in.
Jesus Christ.
Did you guys hear me typing in the planning meeting? So I'm doing
So
a.
you wrote this minutes before we started, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
But
so
I thought of-
leagues of effort.
I thought about it on my drive here home today. So, so I'm going to do a full, detailed, comprehensive review of Tower Hill McDonald's in Frankston, which is the go-to McDonald's for me when I'm down there. So this morning I woke up at. She's not my girlfriend yet, but my girlfriend's house, and I went to Lewis's house.
Okay.
No, it's detailed. It's detailed.
Unnecessary
Not
information.
unnecessary because it makes sense to why I was in Frankston, and I went to Lewis's house.
But what doesn't make sense is you going, she's not my girlfriend, but I woke up at my girlfriend's house.
No, I didn't want to open a conversation. Look what I've done. Didn't want to have the conversation about it. But
No,
so
we did have to. You should say, woke up in the morning, went to Macca's. There you go.
But then I thought
What's
you
wrong
guys-
with that?
No, because I was in. Anyway.
I knew why you were in Frankston, but I just wasn't going to bring it up.
Well, I just didn't want to have a conversation about it.
Okay.
But now
About
look at
this?
what- So can I finish, or do you guys gonna just keep interrupting me?
Okay,
going.
what, we'll just say that it was a sleepover, but it wasn't a gay Reuben sleepover.
Would you like me to start the segment? All right, you ready? Gil?
Come to. So I went to Lewis's house to drop off approximately 10:15. I was at Lewis's house dropping off some SD cards, and then at 10:20 I got back in my car to drive the 40 minutes home. But then I thought I need a bit of a liquid drink to help me on my way, so I drove.
Why
down.
did you say liquid drink?
As opposed to a solid drink.
A solid drink. What kind of
Yeah.
fucking sludge are you drinking?
Slurp down a Big Mac.
And so I went to the Tower Hill McDonald's, which is my go-to. I used to even work there when I was 17. I worked there for 3 weeks.
Oh, loyal customer. 3 weeks is very long. You get fired.
No, I didn't like working there.
Oh, okay. You're much more of a customer vibe. Sometimes seeing how the sausage is made ruins the experience.
Anyway, so I pulled into the drive-thru and I was saying,
Yeah.
"Can I get a large double sausage and egg McMuffin meal with an
Ooh, double.
ice latte, no sugar?" The guy on the other end gave me a very unenthusiastic, "Is that all?" I said yes. I paid
Yeah.
my $10.90 and I drove on through.
So
Then they
you,
gave,
you have an issue with the demeanor of the driveway man? Is
did.
that...
yeah, it was very
okay.
rude. And so
Oh, very rude. So,
Yes.
so not being excited to work at Macca's is very rude. I would say very rude is, welcome McDonald's, suck my dick. That's very rude.
Yeah, and
But-
also you just said yourself that you also didn't like working there, so you know that this man is not having fun. You've been there. Have some sympathy for him.
I was always polite to customers. I was like, "Hey, how's your morning? That's good."
Oh, so at the driveway, you would go, hey, how's your morning? I think I know why you lost the job, mate.
No
Shut up
wonder you
and serve
hated it.
burgers. Stop talking to him.
I only ever worked drive-through once, but that's irrelevant.
Okay, yep. Continue on.
So they gave me my meal, and the ice latte had sugar in it, and they didn't give me my hash brown. And now that's sad and annoying. But yesterday they didn't give me my fries, and the ice latte got there as well. Also had sugar in it. I've gone every single day to this McDonald's for the last month.
Last month, every day.
Yes,
What?
I've been in and out of Frankston a lot in the last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every
Why's
single-
that?
No, guys, he doesn't want to go into it.
Okay, let's not go into it.
What? And 5 times in the last 30 days, they've given me an ice latte with sugar,
Yeah.
and they've
Yeah.
given me one of these cups rather than the see-through cups.
What's
They've also forgot my hash brown.
What's wrong
more
with
than
the
once.
What's wrong with the cup?
It's not the correct cup.
Yeah,
There's procedure and policy on how you serve food at McDonald's, and by not serving me in the right cup, it's just disappointing.
So you're excited to get a see-through cup. You like can't wait to see what's in there.
Wait, I might have one in here. No, I don't. But they're much better to drink out of. Much better than this. Have you ever tried drinking out of this? It's gross.
Looks like a cup. What's the difference?
The see-through cup makes the experience a lot better. You're paying $5 for an iced latte. You want the experience, right?
No one, if you're going to Macca's for an experience, you are going to the wrong restaurant.
Oh, this is awesome.
Even calling it a restaurant is very generous.
So anyway,
Man, if there's two things Gillen hates in this world, it's the disabled and people who work minimum wage. If you're disabled and you have a job, fucking, you better look out because he's going to
Yeah.
park in your spot, walk up to the counter and spit in your face for getting the cup wrong.
I have two more criticisms of Frankston Tower Hill
Of course
McDonald's.
you do.
Of course, yeah.
So
To be
long wait
expected.
times, high mistakes, unacceptable, pretty much. Now I know I used to work there and I would make mistakes as well, but doesn't matter. I'm not working there anymore.
So what's your solution to Tower Hill McDonald's?
Oh, I got one more thing. They also
Okay.
make the iced lattes very watery, and I'm paying $5. I want a
That's
good drink.
most McDonald's drinks. Just
So anyway-
Okay.
even their Coke's watery.
Can
dude.
I have
okay,
in
yep.
conclusion? You have a conclusion, and then I think I have a solution for you.
Yep, a high level of mistakes, long wait times, poor iced poor iced latte quality, and
Yeah.
bad customer service. Wouldn't recommend going there, even though I've gone there every day for a month.
You know what
Okay.
I find amazing about this is you.
Oh, now
actually-
play the
No,
song.
no,
No, we're definitely not doing an outro to this segment because it's just the Big Brother theme song again.
what I find fascinating is that like you needed notes for this segment. Like it wasn't that detailed, and I could see that you were reading off them as well. I don't know. It was cute that you put in effort, but also like maybe just.
I didn't
just
put in
a
that
bit-
much effort. I just
Now,
wrote,
I
like,
think
dot
I have a
points.
solution for you, Keelan. If just before though, if you were to sum up your experience at Tower Hill McDonald's with like a facial expression and a hand gesture, like thumbs up, thumbs down, what would that be? Right. Now, what I want everyone to do, this is a solution. I want everyone to go back to the podcast and screenshot that and post it onto Tower Hill McDonald's Facebook page and say, this is your most loyal customer and this is how he's feeling. When you serve this man, treat him with more respect, please. And Tower Hill McDonald's, whenever they see you walk into their store, they're going to know that you're the guy they've been disappointing 30 days in a row.
Oh, last night, so we didn't get our fries. We called
Yeah.
them 3 times. We called them 3 times to say, hey, we didn't get our fries. Because I
You
don't
called
like,
them
Yeah, I don't like being the person who comes back with like
on
no...
on the phone.
Wait, you
You know
can,
what?
you can call a Macca's?
Yeah. Is this unheard of for you guys?
I've never heard of anyone calling a fast food restaurant other than to prank them.
Yeah, their phone number is 0397.
We're not doing that. All right,
No, but
we'll
the-
flood their Facebook page with pictures of your unsatisfied head, but we're not calling them. I'm going to draw the line there.
The thing is that I called them so many times and they didn't answer. The reason they
Yeah.
have a phone is so that you can call up and complain.
Right.
Anyway, that's my segment done. So if you just want to hit the button and we can move on.
Keelan.
That's great.
One thing that was great about that is that segment really relaxed me, man. I'm sitting at a 32
Oh, that's good.
right now.
Wow, so that segment almost put you to sleep, Luke.
pretty much.
That's below normal.
Yeah, and you know what? It also has a thing called body battery, and it shows me like how drained I am out of 100 throughout the day.
Wow.
And that
Yeah.
segment literally drained me by 3. You took away 3% of my daily energy by fucking doing that segment. So
That's good. I have speaking of Frankston, I have a sketchy Frankston story. We all thought the sketchy warehouse tales were going to go away. It seems like I'm getting them just as frequently, although there is a distinct lack of poo. So
Right.
we're going to keep the stories, but there won't be any mysterious poos. Unless, all you guys are going to be using my toilet. Maybe we'll find out who the culprit was. If my
was gonna-
toilet blocks up, we know who it is.
I was going to say that will make it a lot more interesting if we
Yeah.
get a Lewis house poo as opposed to a warehouse poo.
Yes.
Because it means that, not only were... Because think about the amount of... Like, imagine if the plot twist was that it was one of us. That would be
It
wild.
could be.
I really don't think... I remember seeing that poo, and I still, as we concluded, I don't think that was done by a human being. I think it was a sentinel poo.
I think so. A sentinel poo. So it was like on the lookout. It was watching out, protecting all the sheep, and
Isn't a sentinel like a robot, like an
Yeah.
alien poo?
yeah.
What did
yeah.
I say?
You said that's not what that word means.
No, hang on.
You're thinking of sentient.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
And
I'm thinking of.
sentient doesn't mean what you said it meant either.
Yeah, that's not what that means.
Sentient means like conscious.
Doesn't it? Wasn't there an episode of the podcast where you described a sentient poo, and you were
Yeah.
saying like it
Yeah, but like it had a brain
that's right.
and it was
yeah,
talking.
Yeah, I forgot the meme. Yeah, I feel like we did a few memes, and I feel like one day we talked about the aliens did it, and then I'm merging them in my head, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And also, the only way I know that word, by the way, is just from Transformers, because there is a Transformer called Sentinel at one point.
That's very disappointing because that is quite a good big word to know. But if you know it from Transformers, it
kind of
cancels it all out.
And something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in this word economy, things are tough.
Yeah, I thought it was a way of describing an alpha Autobot.
So I'm trying to go for walks every morning in Frankston, and we're in a nice area. Also, I thought me and Jazz were walking down our street, and there's like this crotchety old woman that looks like a witch. She's like raking leaves, and we're like maybe 200 meters down the street, and she's raking up her leaves, and that's so normal. Someone raking leaves, whatever. And then we get a bit closer, and I notice that she's raking leaves off the lawn onto the pavement. And I was like, oh, that's a little bit weird. Normally you'd go the other way to clear the pavement and to clear a walk space, but maybe she's going to like put them in a bag later, whatever. And then she starts looking at me like while she's raking really suspiciously. I'm like, what's this witch doing? And then we get closer, and we get close enough, and I just glance over it, and she sees me looking, and then she grabs the rake and walks away all the way down the street, 10 houses down, and then goes into her house. I don't know why the fuck she was raking like 10 houses down the street, putting leaves in front of not even really her neighbor's house, and then ran away when I saw it. I don't know what she was doing. Casting some kind of curse.
Absolutely, either doing a curse or just having a neighborhood dispute. For sure. I bet you often old people don't have, like they have too much time in the day. They don't have enough stuff to do. So they just find themselves in like local disputes with maybe a house that wronged them in the past. So she gets back at him by raking their leaves onto their nature strip or and onto their footpath. Maybe that's how she gets back at him.
Maybe. Like I don't know well, that's what I think, that maybe that wasn't the end goal. Maybe I interrupted something that could have ended up a lot worse, and I've actually saved, House 10.
I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for people to sound off their theories, but it just sounds like a mean old woman trying to do a mean thing, and then she got caught in the act, so she ran away.
Or it could have just been crack behavior,
Yeah, or maybe she
there
just
is a bit of that.
Loves gardening.
Yeah, loves
she's not very
gardening,
good at
hates
it,
being
though.
seen.
Yeah.
She loves gardening and stealth.
But she just sucks at gardening. She doesn't actually know what to do with the leaves once she rakes them.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'm now worried about any time I see leaves on my street. I'm like, am I being marked or cursed? What's going on?
You've been hit by the old lady down the road. Have you ever seen an abundance of leaves near your house?
I know. I mean,
Very
maybe that could work
suspicious.
for you, Keelan. You could hit a lady up and go rake a bunch of leaves in front of that Macca's.
That's a good way of getting back at him. And then if someone sees you, run away 10 houses down. That's good.
I think that would work.
I do, by the way, I really, really, really want people to send that photo and send it to their, not only
Absolutely.
send it to their, obviously, wait, can you comment it?
Do they have a
their,
Facebook page? Like a one for just them? What's it called, Keelan?
Hang on. I'll look it up one second.
or leave like a Google review under the Tower Hill. Can you post photos in Google review? Because I just
Yeah, you
want them
can,
to
because you
know
can post
what you
photos
look
of like food that you got. So that would be great if you
Perfect.
could do that. Google reviews, all that kind of shit.
Oh, it doesn't look like there is one anymore. I thought there used to be.
Well, no wonder they're not getting any feedback. No wonder they've gotten sloppy, eh? Well, yeah, just I think we'll post. Maybe we can find the platform of where to best post, and we can link it in the top comment or something.
Yep. I'd say that Google reviews is the best one.
Yep, definitely go leave one now. Lewis, something has happened to me this week. It's happened
Wow.
twice.
Something
I
happened.
know.
That's crazy.
That's actually one of the craziest things to happen in quarantine is something.
Anything could happen, and I'd be like, "Fuck, that's crazy."
Yeah. This happened twice on two separate occasions, and the first time I brushed it off because I was like, man, that's impossible. You just take a hit of your puffer into the
Yep.
microphone.
Yes,
Just needed some
yep.
ventilation.
Yeah, just needed to ventilate, bro.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Do you reckon puffers would? No, that's a stupid. Never mind, guys. I thought I could
Please,
solve
please,
coronavirus.
please finish it. Please finish the sentence.
Fuck spending $40,000 on a ventilator. I just buy a bunch of puffers and have like 10 hits. You know,
I mean,
guys, I'm a genius.
I think it's been solved.
Honestly, Trump is probably like 2 press conferences away from suggesting that at this point.
I love him. He's great. Just
Anyway.
everything that he's saying. Yeah, keep going.
Wait, has he said something new?
My favorite thing that he said, I think this might be my favorite thing ever that he said. He was describing a brand new missile that the military has like invented, and it's like the best, fastest missile they've ever made. And he goes, this is a press conference. He's 70. He goes, I like to call it the super duper missile. He's like, he fucking talk. No matter what you believe in, he talks like he's 10, and that's a fact.
That's amazing. It's so funny. It's like, you
The
know,
super duper missile.
He's from that generation where they didn't get nearly as good of an education as we did.
Yeah.
Like, he's just from that generation where they're not dumb and they've got life experience. Like, he's a great businessman. He's got his way to being president, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's just some gaps in, like, vocabulary and other little things where it just shines through a lot of the time. And it's like... But also, I feel like he's a guy like me where he doesn't really, like, try and become more intelligent throughout life.
Yeah, I think so. You know what? I reckon he's got my brain and your vocabulary. That's really what he is.
He's got that business hustle, but then he fucking opens his mouth and everyone's like, why the fuck does this guy have a platform? This week, right, I caught up with a friend because we're allowed to now in Melbourne. And so we went for a run together the other day and we rocked up for the run. I hadn't seen him, I guess, since probably the end of Feb, just after we got back from our regional tour. And he goes, man, you've grown. I was like, what? He goes, you've gotten taller. You definitely have. And I was like, no, I haven't. That's impossible. You haven't seen me for 2 months. I'm 24. Like, I haven't grown. You finish growing when you're 18. I looked it up afterwards because then a week later, caught up with another mate, right? Different friend, different occasion. I don't think they'd communicated. It wasn't like a bit where they're like, oh, you tell Luke he's gotten taller. My other friend goes, you know, I think you've actually gotten taller throughout isolation.
What?
And I was like, what do you mean? There's no way I've grown. And then, so I don't know. I haven't seen you guys in person. I guess we have to sort this out.
Have you measured yourself? Do you know what you were?
No, I don't measure who the fuck measures themselves every 2 months?
Yeah.
The last time I measured myself would have been year 12, and I was 182
Maybe your posture is better.
Well, maybe. I reckon it's probably gotten worse because I've been
Mine
slouching on
has.
the couch a lot.
Yeah, like sitting all day. Mine's definitely gotten worse. That's really weird. Or maybe they have an idea of you. Maybe they've been seeing you next to me too much.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's just they haven't seen me in a while and they forgot that I was tall. I mean, I worked out on my podcast this week that again, I haven't measured myself in a while, so I'll have to do a remeasure, but I'm actually not 6 foot tall. I'm 5. It says 5. It doesn't really make sense though, because on Google it says
5'11"?
Right, but it says 5.97. Is that because feet doesn't have decimals. But when I looked up centimeters to feet conversion and I put in 182 centimeters and it says 5.97 feet, which doesn't make sense.
Why couldn't feet have decimals?
That's like 6'3". That's a decimal. That 3 is the decimal.
Oh, people were roasting me in the comments under my podcast saying Luke thinks feet have decimals. What an idiot! And I was like, I've done it again. You know, classic Luke.
But any unit of measurement has decimals. It's a number.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it until people started fucking roasting me for it. So I was like, oh, am I an idiot? But anyway, apparently I'm 5.97 feet.
Nah, I think you're taller than that.
That's what I thought, because doesn't it go to...
5'10's pretty short.
No, but then 183 centimeters is 6 foot.
Oh,
so anyway,
maybe.
I don't really get Google's conversions, but I'm not 6 foot. I'm 1 centimeter away from being 6 foot.
Oh, well, then I can't really respect you, Luke.
I know. That's what I was literally thinking about.
You're basically a woman now.
Yeah. And you would never respect one of them, would you, Lewis?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you've seen how we treat Ruben on the show. He's Lord Farquaad's height.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anyone under 6 foot is a woman or a child. I mean, that's just science.
I would love to do a remeasuring, perhaps when we come back to the podcast, to see if since year 12 I have grown to be 6 foot, because otherwise I'm not really a man, am I? I'm just one of
won't
those.
Be able to be on the show.
I know. And by the way, I also exposed you on my podcast because
Really?
you say you're 2 meters tall, yet you also say you're 6'8", and
That is a comedic decision.
right.
Yes.
Well,
because
I've been with you in public, and people going, "How
Yeah.
tall are you?" And you go 6'8". Lewis,
Yeah.
my friend, you go 6'5".
no, I'm definitely not. I think that I'm 6'8", but I'm not 2 meters. I say 2 meters in my joke because it sounds.
Are you more
simpler.
than 2 meters tall?
I think so. I think I'm 205 or something.
Oh,
whatever 6'8" is. Because I remember.
I think 6'8" was 207. That's fucking tall.
Yeah, because
I
I'm
don't
definitely
know
not.
if
I've
you'd be
met
6'8".
I've met 6'5" people before, and like I'm quite a bit bigger than them. You know, I remember I met. 'Cause people lie about their heights all the time, or maybe they just get them wrong. I remember I met this guy
I
that
never
was-
say 6 foot to people. I go, I think I'm about 6 foot, which isn't a lie. I'm
Yeah,
I think
it's
I'm
about
half
that.
a centimeter away from being 6 foot, but it's
Yeah.
pretty devastating to find out I'm on the lower end. Just doesn't count.
I think you're wrong. I think you're definitely over 6. I don't know.
I don't know. I am pretty tall. Like, people don't realize. People always say after shows, like, "Man, you're way taller than I thought you'd be." It's like, yeah, because you see me hang out with Lewis all the time.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah, everyone gets
Keelan's
that.
really tall as well. So
Yeah.
I'm the shortest out of our. Okay, thank you, thank God. Now Ruben's on the show, but I used to be
Yeah.
the shortest, and I was still pretty tall. Anyway, guys, this is just a great chat about height. My point is, I don't think I'm getting taller, but people keep telling me I am, and it's confusing me.
Well, that's good. I have a bit of
It is
news.
good. Yeah, okay, that's good. Are you getting taller?
No.
Okay.
But I think
Getting
that
wider.
the height conversation had a real natural lull, which leads to a good conclusion to the discussion. And I'm ready to move on. But you
By
keep.
the way, that conclusion was you going, Not much of a conclusion.
Well, I went, and then my brain went, no, there's really nothing else there. And then I brought on the next thing, which I think is a nice, natural conclusion. Would you agree, Ruben?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Okay, there we go. We've
That's
got
good.
it.
Maybe we can just play that sound effect every time we hit a lull.
A natural lull. I just
Oh,
go.
that would be good.
Okay.
Hang on.
Right, so next time Keelan does a segment, we just.
I mean, it's better than the fucking Big Brother noise, isn't it?
That's not true.
Joe Rogan came out with a real big announcement today, saying that he's moving his podcast exclusively to Spotify. He's taking it off every single other platform, including YouTube, and the audio and video will only be on Spotify. The only thing that's going to be on other places will be Joe Rogan clips, which will be on YouTube. But that's it. Other than that, if you want the full thing, it's only on Spotify. He signed this big deal, and it's a multi-year deal too. It's not like for 1 year. It's a big, big deal. I think that's really interesting. I think
How
that's going
much
to
was it?
completely. It's not disclosed, but like people are estimating that he'll still get his normal sponsored ads, which will be millions that he reads, but also Spotify will pay him.
Well, there is
People are saying like 100 million.
Yeah,
a
that's
year.
what it's reported to be.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, obviously, the first thing I thought when you told me this was like, well, that's insane because his audience is on every platform, and that's why the podcast's so big.
What's
huge on YouTube.
interesting is he's never been on Spotify before at all.
I know, but I'm saying his audience was huge on podcast audio. It's been
Yeah.
number one for the last decade, I guess, since
Yeah,
podcasts
yeah.
were a thing. And it's also some of his episodes get 15, 7 million, 4 million on YouTube. Like the big ones get really big numbers, don't they? Like
Yeah.
what, say the Elon Musk one. Like what's his highest viewed podcast on YouTube? Probably like 20 million or something.
I'll have a look.
About that, and you would think that
That's
his
huge
audio would at
numbers.
least be double that.
And the ad
You'd
rates
think.
on that, like, because it's an hour thing, I don't know how often he's putting in ads, but god damn, like,
Man, if you went
Such
to
a
like
big
any,
audience.
if you went to any company and you were like, I've got Elon Musk, this thing's getting 50 mil minimum. I mean, as a business, you're paying at least millions to get your brand there.
34 million.
Yeah.
Was that the
Wow.
Elon Musk episode?
Yeah, but
That's the
there's
most
heaps
recent
with
one?
10 million. Yeah, that's
No, that was the one from a year ago where Elon Musk got high.
No, he just did one now.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah, he did a
again.
new one, but the most viewed one was the one where Elon Musk
Wow.
smoked weed.
That's so interesting. I think I think from listening to his podcast, I think a big reason why he's done it is because of how much censorship he's gotten on YouTube, and how often they
He stopped
demonetize
live
anything they
streaming.
talk about. Yeah, he stopped live streaming.
And then, yeah, it was like a natural progression here. I think it's insane. And you know what? It's pretty cool. It shows that his podcast is actually worth more, I reckon, than the biggest Tonight Show.
Easy.
Like, there's no
Yeah.
way a Tonight Show could sell the rights to their show of an original concept for $100 million, or if it is anywhere in that ballpark.
I don't think so. I mean, didn't Dave Chappelle at the height of Chappelle Show, was his deal even 100 million?
I don't know. That would have
The
been
one that he
that's not
turned
really
down?
relative though, because that was ages ago.
Yeah, true. What can you look that up, Keelan? That's a really interesting point. I think I really hope that this scares the fuck out of YouTube. Because if you think about it, they just lost like one of their biggest creators. That's the PewDiePie of podcasts, you know? That's
Yeah.
one of their biggest
then
ever creators.
If this is a success and podcasts, if Spotify end up profiting out of it, I don't know how they will. But hang on. So where's the video going now?
On Spotify, which means...
You can watch videos on Spotify now?
Not yet. They must be building that. Spotify's doing a real big push to take over podcasting because iTunes had it only because they were first and they put no effort into it at all. The iTunes one is quite bad, I think.
Yeah, the app's
The
not very
Spotify
good.
players.
I don't use it anymore.
Spotify Play is really good. I mean, we watched it happen like because we started podcasting before Spotify. When Spotify launched, they had like 5%. It was negligible. Now it's more than half of all audio listeners are on Spotify.
Well, I remember we were telling the radio station, they couldn't believe it. Like all the radio bosses, like we were the ones informing them of what was happening. So that we're like, in the last year, our podcast numbers on Spotify have gone from 5% people listen on Spotify to 45%. And that was when we quit radio. Now I think about 60% of the people who listen to our podcast listen on Spotify.
Because I remember they wanted us. They didn't want us on Spotify because Spotify competes with radio, and we were like, no way. That's
It has to be
half our audience. So I think it's real interesting to see Spotify like stand up and take something so controversial. I mean, it is such a controversial platform. He interviews people that a lot of people think are evil and scum, and lots of things are said that advertisers don't like. But Spotify kind of doesn't have to care about advertisers because it's a paid platform.
Yeah. So does that mean that Spotify are aiming to become like the YouTube of streaming services, like Netflix, but it's YouTube where anyone can upload to it kind of thing?
Maybe.
Seems like that's what they're transitioning into, is like, but maybe just starting with podcasts.
Maybe they pick and choose with who can do that. Like I know
like a
that
curated thing.
Yeah, because I mean, the reason why YouTube
then it
is
will
so
get
expensive
shit.
to run is because anyone can put shit up. So that's, I mean, you think about all of the people that have no subscribers and no viewers, you still got to pay to host all of their videos they put up. So that's expensive. I think they'd only be doing it for select people. Maybe you get verified. I mean, I know they're really pushing for it. Like
I heard a figure somewhere once
Yeah.
that Joe Rogan costs $100,000 an episode to host.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at how much just Spearhead Sundays, it's quite a small podcast. I'm paying like $300 a month just to host my podcast. Like, it's fucking expensive.
It gets really expensive once you hit over a certain amount of downloads per month. People don't realize that about podcasts. Everyone's like, I want to start a podcast. I'm like, it costs money. I think that's one thing that shocks people is we always get message like, hey boys, any tips on starting a podcast? Don't think people realize that to host one, you've got to pay for it.
Yeah, it's not like
a free
YouTube
thing.
or social media.
Does
So
the
I-
length of the podcast change the cost as well, or is it just downloads?
Yeah.
It's the size,
length,
like the
file
file
size.
size.
Okay.
So like
that go for like 2 to 3 hours must be insane.
yeah,
I mean,
probably
yeah,
like the
that'd be
audio
double.
would be like 150 megabytes probably for some of his.
Yeah.
Even if you compressed it.
Yeah. So I think that almost all of these people are complaining about censorship and social media platforms censoring, and they have to do that to survive because they're reliant on paying their bills with advertisers who will crack it if you say something fuck, because Toyota don't want their ads on that. So like if you really want like controversial stuff, you have to pay for it because an advertiser isn't going to stand by, my fuck jokes, I suppose.
But that's the way it's always been. Like HBO was always on Foxtel. Like
yeah,
it's kind of always been that. And then there was this golden era where all of a sudden you could watch fuck stuff for free. But then as soon as advertisers get involved, as soon as anything starts to make money, everything changes again. And now it's just turning into what TV turned into, which is if you want the fuck stuff, you got to pay for it on Foxtel, essentially.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, the Misfits in Australia, they signed a deal with Spotify to put their podcast on there first.
Has that gone well for them? You know the guys, don't you?
Yeah, that's gone really well, but they didn't sign an exclusive one. Spotify just gets it first. Okay. And there's a lot of benefit to it. If Spotify has paid for your podcast, it's in their best interest to make it big.
Yeah, and promote it for
so
you.
they'll push it in the algorithms and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well for them. I mean, I don't know the intimacies of it, but
I think the whole thing of social media censorship is actually getting a little bit. It's gotten to the point now where I've never really thought about it or cared enough, and now it's got to the point where it's actually started to worry me a bit. Did you see during the week Frenchie's TikTok got taken down?
That's terrifying.
250,000 followers, which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then they just ripped his account down with no warning.
No warning.
It just was, he just got an email saying, your account violates our community terms and service, and if you want to submit an appeal.
That's so scary as a creator.
And the only reason why he got it back was because everyone would have made a video about it. And Frenchie did make a video about it.
Yeah.
Alex Williamson messaged his guy from TikTok.
So I messaged my guy, the guy that I know. I was like, this is bullshit. The only way that you can fight this is by all of the creators going, hey, fuck you. And if you're not plugged into a good network like that,
He wouldn't have got it back.
He would have been fucked.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it yesterday, and he was like, oh, man, I wish I had gone for another day because I was fucking milking it for good content. But he was like genuinely worried. He's like, man, what a waste of time that would have been. Like I put in 3-4 months of actual effort. Like he was films a lot of original stuff that he only uploads on TikTok, and it's got to a point where I'm now up to 160,000, and now I get more views on TikTok than I do in a week on YouTube. In a day,
Yeah.
I'll get more views in a day on TikTok than I do in a week on YouTube. And if
And
I
they could
lost
take
that,
it away at any moment.
scared the shit out of me. I was like, why am I putting so much effort into this? Because I'm probably just going to get banned eventually.
I reckon because Joe doesn't need money. Like when I met him and spoke to him, I just got a whiff and I was like, oh, this guy could stop today and his grandkids could buy houses. So like, I think a big motivator. I mean, if I was at
So
his
why did he do it, do you reckon?
thing,
It seems like
I think he would have done it because he was just sick of censorship on YouTube. Like, they would demonetize his stuff. Like, it's fucking expensive to run the Joe Rogan podcast. As much money as he is making, he wouldn't be, I don't think, for the amount of views he'd be getting, I don't think he would be making that much money on YouTube AdSense. I would think that a lot of their shit would be getting demonetized. I mean, if he drinks alcohol and smokes, that alone demonetized. Fuck what they're talking about, which a lot of the time is some scary shit.
Yeah, I think that I can't even really think that his audience will drop that much. I reckon maybe it might
I don't
drop
think so.
10, 15%. I think his audience is pretty loyal, it seems. I don't really listen to many episodes, but it seems like the people who do
The comments
fucking
seem
love it.
real positive, and especially because he was not on Spotify, I think that's a lot of people were asking him to do that anyway because it is such a good platform. So for me, if I had such a big platform, I'd be like, well, if I'm not here and everybody wants me on here and so does Spotify, fuck, I'm going to charge them for it. And then if Spotify goes, all right, we'll pay for it, but how about we triple it and we get you? And because, I mean, they're the future of podcasting anyway.
Hope so.
I think it makes sense, especially if he would have the power to be like, okay, but you don't touch my show and I can say what and do whatever the fuck I want with no
You
repercussion. I
can
bet
still listen
that's
to
there.
it for free on Spotify, I guess, even if you don't have premium,
Yes.
because you just cop
Yeah.
ads, right?
Yeah, which is YouTube.
Does everyone, like, I would actually be interested, to people who listen to this podcast, you can sound off below or whatever. Do most people pay for, I think most people pay for Spotify or Apple Music, right? Most
I
people
think
pay
so.
for a music thing. No one still torrents music, right? Surely.
Nah, not music. People torrent like movies and things, more
Still?
expensive stuff. I think
Even,
it's
like,
died down a lot
Netflix and
because it's.
stuff?
I think.
It's so
I think.
affordable.
Yeah, well, that's kind of.
I
That's
guess. Depends what's
why-
running it, but
that's why I wasn't worried about putting my special out online for a pay thing, because as I think as long as you make it easy and affordable, people will just get it because they
Yeah.
appreciate that.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if his audience gets smaller. It'll be also interesting to see what their video platform is like, to see if like the player's
Yeah.
good. Because the player might just suck or something, and you know anything could turn people off. But hopefully they do
Well,
it well.
I think if they're going for just podcasts, doesn't look like they're going for like videos or anything like that. But if they're going for just podcasts, it would be something you would think that you can pause, like lock your screen and it still plays. Because YouTube can do that, but only if you pay for it. And YouTube Premium's quite expensive. Like I have it, but
It's like $20 a month.
$20 a month,
That's a
which is
rip-off.
yeah. I only have it because that when you have that, creators actually get paid fairly. So that's why I like it, and the play in the background thing is really good. But if Spotify does that, that's like YouTube's best feature, used mainly for podcasts, gone.
And they're undercutting the price by about half as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The
Well,
thing I really like about Spotify, and is the reason I got rid of, YouTube Music, and the reason I got rid of Spotify is because you can change to video or song in the app.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
so you got YouTube Music.
Yeah, I got rid of Spotify because I pay $15 a month for some reason for my premium.
Okay, I think people got it cheaper at some point.
Yeah, I think like if
since
you
it
got
came
it back
out,
in the day, it was like $11 or $12
I
or
pay,
something.
I think
Yeah.
$6, but it's like a family account.
Oh, that's
Okay.
true. Yeah, you can get.
Oh, I'm getting
family
fucking
ones.
ripped over here.
But
Yeah.
if that's what they did for podcasts where you could watch the video or listen to audio, that would make me resubscribe to Spotify.
I mean, if they do that, surely you would think they would do the same thing with music video.
Man,
And
that would
then-
be great if you could on the train. You just wanted to listen to. Then we started talking about something where you had to see something. You just
Yeah.
flick open your phone and you can start watching it exactly where you left off from. That would
Yeah.
be amazing. Like that would change the game for a lot of people.
I mean, yeah,
People would
think
half
about how
watch,
many-
half listen.
Think about how many people just missed that KKK hood because, they were on iTunes.
I know, guys.
Such a good gag, and you missed it. You got to go back.
You're gonna have to go over to YouTube to see properly how fucking racist that was. That was really fucked up. That he
Lewis
did
is actually
that.
doing blackface right now.
Yeah, but you've been missing it the
Yeah.
whole episode.
You had no idea.
I think we're gonna have to leave it there.
I just hope that it scares the fuck out of YouTube and makes them go, oh shit, we need to let creators do what they want, otherwise we're going to lose them. Because,
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't really have a competitor for YouTube, but there are businesses that can afford to take their top talent. Like
Yeah.
that's what happened with Twitch, Mixer came along, got Ninja and all these other people. So,
Yeah,
and
now no
YouTube
one's
started
streaming
taking
on
from
YouTube.
Twitch. Nah, not really. YouTube signed a bunch of exclusive deals, but not like really huge people. So I
Only
think
PewDiePie
ultimately
was the
more
big one.
competition is really good
Wait, they signed PewDiePie to stream.
on YouTube. Yeah. So PewDiePie was streaming on some service called DLive because he didn't want to do Twitch and he liked the service of DLive, but YouTube just paid him, I would imagine, crazy money to stream only on YouTube. So
Right.
with that shit happening now, I think it's a good thing because it gives creators more power because they have more choice. But it's only happening for the big dogs. Well, I don't know what's going to happen to all the little
Yeah,
people
but
like
it
us.
has to start somewhere, so it will be interesting
Yeah.
maybe in the next couple of years to see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I think we need to wrap it up there so we don't go for 3 days. I'd love to know your thoughts on Joe Rogan moving and what you think, how this will affect the rest of it. I'm super interested in it. So sound off below for sure. Support us on Patreon if you want to get 2 extra episodes every single month, exclusive to Patreon. Everyone's doing it. We all got our exclusives. Got to pay the bills somehow. Spotify isn't fucking paying us. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. That's it. Anything else to say, Luke?
We'll have more information regarding the live stream next
Yes.
week on the show. But it's awesome to see everyone's response to that.
Yeah.
A lot of positivity. A few people already getting in arguments with their girlfriends, stating that they're going to watch the whole 24-hour live stream.
Yeah.
I think there might be a few breakups that happen afterwards. Because
Yes.
if you spend 24 hours of your life watching us, then yeah, I think you deserve to be single.
I would say I would tend to agree with that. You know, so.
But it's great to see the enthusiasm, and it's good to see people looking forward to it. So yeah, we'll have keep standing off below with your ideas for the live stream, and yeah, we'll go through it and get back to you guys next week on that one.
All right, talk to you soon, Luke and Lewis. End transmission. How's that?